Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Solar Sidekicks. My name is Pat Southwell, and I am here at Carrum recording episode 19. We are up to episode 19. So thank you very much, everyone who has joined us today. I'm so happy you are with us. First of all, I'd like to pay my respects to the traditional landowners of where we're recording this today, and that's the Boonwurrung people of the Kulin Nation. And I pay my respects to all elders past, present, and emerging. All right, so quick recap on episode 18. Thanks again to Glenn Morris for hosting us up at the Smart Energy Lab. That was a lot of fun up there, Glenn. Like we mentioned in the podcast, breaking bread with you was a lot of fun. I love your setup up there. Had a really good day and really appreciate it. So thanks again, Glenn. Also, just a reminder to all the listeners to put their submissions into the CER if you've got a chance to do that. We're recording this with only a couple of days to go until the CER do close. So if we're able to get this out in time, you still might have a chance to do it. But yeah, it's about the product listings with the CEC and the CER and where that's all going to be sitting. So yeah, please get your submissions in if you do have some feedback about that. All right, so we have a guest in the studio today. All right, so coming into Carrum, I would like to make a very warm welcome to Lauren Ciconte. I did it, yes. All right, at 6 Star Plus. Thank you so much for coming in, Lauren.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
No worries. I'm really happy that you're here too. You made the trip today. We've got a beautiful day. A little bit of a touch of spring in the air, I feel like, today.
Yes.
Just the slightest little touch.
Probably should have brought my sunnies in, actually. I've got a beautiful view.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You've got the best of what Carrum has to offer today, I reckon. So thanks for making the trip. Now, you've done this. We were texting last night, and then you've brought coffee and breakfast and all this other stuff and all these gifts and things. You've kind of raised the bar a little bit for guests, I think. So
sorry, everyone.
You've done really well, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
I was pretty excited about the gift bags. Like I said, they literally came in on Monday, and I thought, I got to give my first one out to Pat.
Great. Oh, I really appreciate that. That's really cool.
No worries.
All right. We're going to go through your journey today in the solar industry. We're going to go through what you do and, a little bit about yourself. I think you've got a fair bit to offer this episode, so really excited to have you on. I reached out to you a few weeks ago, I reckon it was, to see if you were interested. You jumped at the chance. First thing I can see about you seem to be like a really positive person and ready to, I think you've described yourself as the Energizer Bunny.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
Yes. That's probably coming from a lot of people around me. I'm always just go, what next, what this is. So
yeah.
It's I have a lot of fun. I wish I had an off button, but it doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about your role. So you're working at 6 Star Plus.
Yep.
All right. Now, I didn't know that much about 6 Star Plus until speaking to you. I've seen them around a little bit. It's a lot. Oh, I don't know. I've got my fingers in a lot of pies at the moment. It's a lot to be over. You want to tell us a little bit about 6 Star Plus and your role there?
Yeah, of course. Okay, so we have been around for about 15 years. We do predominantly work in the building industry, so we do service quite a lot of builders, up to about 350 around Melbourne.
You service 350 builders, right.
Yeah, so we've always got our hands full, and that's people that build anything from 0 to 3 homes to up to 500 homes a year. So we started off in hot water, and then we made this, well, not made the switch, but I guess added solar and
added
PV.
on.
Yeah, batteries to our, I guess, evolving products maybe in about 2020, I think. So I think our boss probably saw that was the way that everything's going, and it makes sense. We do hot water and we put hot water on the roof. Why not we put PV solar on the roof as well? So
look, it seems to really make sense. And I've noticed a lot of companies doing it the other way. Like I've seen a lot of PV companies that are branching out into hot water, and now you guys have sort of done it the other way.
Yep.
How do you reckon that transition's gone? Like I know a lot of other companies, I won't say they've struggled, but just getting to know what plumbers do and all that sort of stuff. Like you've sort of gone the other way around. You've gone from working with plumbers mainly to now you're working with solar installers.
Yes.
How's that gone?
Honestly, probably not as smooth as what we would have hoped for.
Yep.
With all due respect, we love all of our installers.
Yeah.
You've got your plumbers who probably tend to be a little bit more rough, and then your sparkies who have to be a little bit more clean and neat. So trying to coordinate both of them is sometimes pretty hard.
Yeah.
But from an orders point of view, we've got both departments making sure the panels are in the right place.
Yep.
Hot water, there's a little bit more restrictions on where you can put them. PV, you can really put them anywhere you want. Obviously, we will try and maximise the roof space and make sure it's in the right spot. But it's it works well. We make it work.
Yeah.
So
look, I agree. That's something that I know you say the plums have been a bit rougher, and that's sort of it could be seen as a bit of a dig at them, but I totally see where you're coming from. They're just not regulated as much as Sparkies are.
Hey, our work is still amazing, and we'll still back them, but you just don't really have many rules and selfies and, all the other back end that has to happen with PV that it does with plumbing. But it is what it is. Yeah, I must say, like, this goes back to like my apprenticeship, right? I remember sitting in like the smoko sheds and that sort of stuff, and there was, there's always a bit of banter going on between who the premier trade is, between the plumbers and the Sparkies. And yeah, pretty much the thing that always stuck into my head that I heard as a first year, like someone said, the plumbers, they're no good. All they yell and they need to know two things, and most people know this. It's the shit flows downhill and payday's Friday. If you know that, you can basically become a plumber. Be a plumber. Anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it, yeah. So that's probably a little bit harsh, but there's always been a bit of a banter, I think, between the two trades about which one's a premier trade.
Absolutely.
And I think definitely like the higher regulation, not just of Sparkies, but also solar installers. It's just so much higher than they're being watched so much more than plumbers are. But I think it's coming. Yeah, it is. It's a good thing. But I think it's coming with plumbing too. Like Solovic rebates, they're being audited now, I believe, with the plumbing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's good. Hopefully the plumbers can get used to it and embrace it too.
Yeah, and the training that Solovic has been able to provide for the plumbers and the transition to heat pumps has been really good. So I will definitely say credit to Solovic there.
Yeah.
They've done something right, which is good.
Yeah, they have. I think they really have. They've really tried to... They've seen something and they've tried to clean it up a lot.
It's really good. Don't worry, we do have the odds. Sometimes the builder will install their own panels and we'll supply and we'll get there, and the hot water panels are just smack on the north roof, and we're just thinking, oh my God, what are we going to do here? And you've got half here and half there, but it always works. Yeah.
I still see that a little bit. Like
frustrating.
I know.
Just smack bang in the middle. I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's like prime real estate. Yeah, move over.
Yeah,
exactly.
move over. So, but like I said, their restrictions on panel placements is probably a little bit higher.
Yeah, that's interesting. They've done. I remember something being. Is it in their standards or their regs about having to be at a certain angle between certain azimuth or something like that?
Correct. It can only be a certain azimuth west and a certain azimuth north. So or smack bang north. So but that doesn't mean you just don't put it straight in the middle of the roof.
No, that's right. But they can't do what we can do. Like if we run into real estate for solar panels, like you can always put them on the south and go, well, I'm going to get a bit less, but it's still, I'm going to get something out of it. They can't really do that. It's not going to heat the hot water up properly.
Yeah, and it does have issues with their warranty as well. So we want to make sure we're ticking all those boxes.
Yeah.
So sometimes we come off second best.
Yeah, fair enough. You're still seeing much solar hot water now? Like with the emergence of heat pumps, is solar hot water still, because it was a big thing, 15, 20 years ago. Yep. And I don't know. I feel like it's not as big now. Is that right?
Definitely not. I mean, we've been gearing up for the transition to heat pumps for the last 2 years. We've been really nailing down our product offerings and making sure we're working with the right people and the warranties there and all that. So it's definitely slowing down. But with heat pumps, it's only a single installation. You don't have to. So it happens at the back end of the build.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't really happen at the start with the panels at the start, and then a couple months down you're doing the tank fit off. So it's definitely making it easier. And I think builders, they just don't want to change. They've been doing that and they've had their processes in place, so it's about educating them, which is what we're trying to do, and we're having some good traction there, which is good.
Yeah, finally. So interesting. Do they change their spots? Like, I know it's a really big thing, this whole green energy market, I suppose, with what in the new houses. How do they go? How do they go with that education piece? Because a lot of them have been doing the same thing for 20, 30 years, some of them. How do you go trying to get them to think the way you do?
we pretty much just go in and say, we are making it easier for you.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be so much easier for you. I mean, you're not going to, when you go to a heat pump as opposed to solar hot water, like I said, single stage installation, there's no copper pipes. I mean, that's our biggest issue. We get our copper, it is our fault. We get our copper pipes stolen that our plumbers install. And then you got to go back to the builder and ask for an additional work, a PO and all that stuff. So we just go in and just say, mate, it's going to be easier. Just do it now. But they kind of don't really want to change until they really, really have to.
Yeah.
So it's hard. But like you said, it's just all about education. Just keep getting in their face and just making it easier for them. That's what we want to do. We just want to take it off their hands and just say, let us do it. We'll handle it from A to Z. So
yeah, okay. What do you reckon about how are the builders dealing with PV these days? So because it's still a bit of a new thing for them, and I think most of the market that I know of anyway in solar, it's all been retrofit, right? So you speak to most people, they're going to houses that are, maybe 5 years old. Some of them are new, but they're finished. Some of them are really old. There's only a small percentage, I think, which are new houses, right? And now you've got, this is happening, like this transition is happening now. They're happening on new houses. There's panels going on everywhere. How do the builders deal with it? Like, what's their attitude to PV at the moment? What do you reckon? Probably don't want to tell you. Probably don't want to say.
No, I can't complain too much. It actually has been really well. I think we're at a moment in the building industry where if you're like, think about it. These people are pretty much having their biggest investment. I mean, a house is going to be their biggest investment. They want to align themselves with a building company that has the right values. They're doing good for the environment. They've got, like carbon neutral in place. So there's things like that. So I think they're kind of at a place where it's like, oh shit, our backs are up against the wall here. We actually have to start making this transition. It is a little bit worrying with all the NCC changes that people are just going to do like the minimum they need. And there's going to be so many systems out there that are just not sized correctly just so builders can get that green tick. So it's pretty scary thinking that, because at the end of the day, those systems and those purchase orders are going to end up in our laps. And of course we'll do it, but we don't want to be tying our name to systems that are undersized and not going to service that home's needs. So
interesting. No, I'm really interested in this. So you've got, so for this new rating, this is the new, so this is for 7-star rating?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. 7-star rating. Now, what's normally the PV requirement? I mean, I know it depends on a lot of other different things and it's quite complicated. What sort of size systems are you seeing going into these houses? Like, please don't say like 1.5s and stuff, are they? Are they really? Yeah. Okay.
Unfortunately. So with the NatHERS 7 stars changes, so you've got your thermal shell. So that's got to do with the construction materials, the climate, and I guess how the home's built. And then once you've hit 7 stars on that, you've also got a whole of home rating. So your whole of home rating is things like hot water, lighting, cooling,
insulation. Insulation, is that part of it?
No, that's in thermal shell.
In the thermal.
That's in thermal shell. So thermal shell is more like the construction materials.
Gotcha.
And then your whole of home assessment is your lighting, pool pumps, heating and cooling, appliances as well, if builders do include appliances in their builds. And then you deduct your PV generation. So that's what's going to help. So if you're just sitting under, some people have been putting in 1.5, some people have been putting in 2.
All right, so then at least... All right, so it's kind of serving the purpose because then they need to get to a certain level and the PV is just getting them to that level. Yeah. So I get that part of it and that serves a purpose. Ideally, you're going to want like at least a 5 or a 6 kilowatt system though, because that's really what they're going to need to live in the place and to get a good power bill and those sort of things.
So you have two opposite ends of the spectrum. You've got your builders that just want to tick that box and they'll include a minimum 1.5 in their standard build price. And then you have the other builders that go, okay, here's the client, here's the plans, give them a call, upsell them, do what you need to do, because like I said, at the end of the day, we're tying our names to these systems and we don't want people calling us up in 2 years going, hey, I've got 6 people live in this home and the solar isn't doing anything. It's really tough and it's already hard enough to sell homes as it is to have, a $10,000 PV system that's got, battery ready and all that stuff to it. So
interesting. Can you tell me what's a 1.5 kilowatt system look like these days? Because when I started doing solar, it was basically an 8 panel system pretty much with a small inverter. What do you do they do them with micros now? No? They're just a string inverter still?
Yeah, still a string inverter.
4 panels, is it?
4 panel. I think we're up to the 4. We're using 440s at the moment. Just about to move to the 475. So it's bugger all. Yeah. But at the same time, you also have these developments. What are they called? Like the semi-detached, I'm pretty sure that's what they're called.
Yep.
And you know, the ones, and they're pretty much built like that.
Yeah,
right
close
to each other. Yeah.
Yep.
So you got a double story. The roof space is tiny. So on those homes where you actually can only fit 5 panels, it's not too bad. But when you start going to a 4-bedroom home, 27 squares, and all you're putting in is a 2 kilowatt system on the roof, I'm thinking, what the hell's going on here?
See, they're going to, that's the thing. It's just going to be like a few months down the track once the owners are in, they're just going to get big power bills and go, Sol's not doing much.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've got our stickers in the meter box, they've got our handover pack, they've got everything there, and they're going to ring us, and either the panel's going to be discontinued or, that's why we want to try and get in front of these builders.
How do you deal with that? What do you do? Like, that's interesting. Like, what? Because they're going to, are they upset that you didn't do more? Yeah.
Absolutely. They are upset.
And you've like,
and we've got
but
that
you've tried to tell the builder.
Yeah. That's the thing. We've got that
spot.
obligation with the builder, and we'll service all their purchase orders and stuff like that. But some people kind of don't want to go, no, don't upsize. It's all good. Like, that's what we're supplying. And okay, no worries. And sometimes builders don't even want to hand over client details until the very end. So we get all that at the very end. But then, like I said, there's the other end where builders say, no, you take over this job from the start.
Yep.
See if you can upsell the client. If they don't,
perfect.
We'll go to the contract.
So
yeah,
that's best. That's
ideal. That's what we want. But that's why I was saying we just want to try and really get in front of these builders and educate them and make it easy for them. Like, we will do all the work.
Yeah.
I want to do all the work. I love it.
Well, and you're the expert at it. That's the thing.
Give it to me. Like, I want to do it. I want to make it easy for you. And there's some builders that have our cards or our banners in the displays. And if someone's interested, it's like, here you go. And then they'll call me. They'll call me on a Saturday or a Sunday when people are going through displays. And like, hello, hey, Lauren speaking. So, but we just want to get it right from the start. Like I said, we're tying our name to it. We want to make sure it's perfect. And we all take pride in our work.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I kind of get it, because they're wanting to build homes for as cheap as possible. Like, because there's a lot to building a house, and it's a huge investment. I get they want to tick the box. It's just a little bit of foresight to the future would sort of help everyone a little bit.
Absolutely. And think about, like, I think I heard something the other day that from April to May, new home sales are down like 47% or something. The new data hasn't come out. So builders are already struggling to get the sale over the line. They don't want to struggle even more and say, actually, we're going to lose this client because we're going to price them a really big system. So, but it's also client awareness. We're trying to make people more aware and take pride in what you're building and take pride in the company you're investing in that's going to look after you. Definitely.
Look, I mean, I suppose when it gets to building, like, I'm going through this at the moment, and it can get to a stage where money starts getting tight, and then it's like, well, what can we cut? And
sell's the first thing.
Is that the first thing?
Sell's the first thing, absolutely.
Not in my house, it won't be.
Absolutely not. I'd be pissed if it was.
No,
but it is. It's not really anything that they need unless they are having to hit that 7-star requirement.
Yeah.
So they'll get rid of it.
Yeah, right. Yep. Oh, it's a bit of a shame. It works like that. But,
But it's all about education. Like I said, just, getting in front of them, getting in early. And, hey, if it's one less thing, if I was a builder, if it's one less thing that my staff have to worry about, see ya. Handle.
Yeah, for sure.
Take it over.
And that's the thing. They're not the experts in it either.
Yeah. And we don't want them to be.
No, that's right.
Like, I don't want any salesperson going around saying we can do this, and that, and then it gets to us and they say, hey, we've said that they can get this, and I look at the plans and go, you ain't getting any of that. Like, that's not going to work, or that won't happen, blah, blah, blah. So it's just get in front of them early. Do it, do the consult, do the client consult, go over everything, get them into our showroom. They can touch an inverter, they can feel it, they can look at a panel, they know what they're getting, rather than just, here's your handover keys, and then I'll contact them to connect the system.
Yeah. Has it got better though? Like, is there more education now that you've got a little bit of time to work with these builders? Are you able to sort of shape them a little bit more to the way?
Yeah, it definitely has gotten better. It's just kind of, some of these builders we've had for, like I said, 10, 15 years plus. So they don't really want to change their ways. So you try and put another product offering in front of them and they go, what's this?
Yeah.
Do I need to do this? And that's always their first question. Do we need to do this? When is this mandatory? It's like, do it now. Get in front of the curb. Don't wait until it's too late or until you have to start doing it. Do a few test cases, do a few trials. So they're definitely opening it up. But, I mean, you've got the NCC changes that are in place, so they've got no choice.
Yeah. Anything else in that NCC document that's changed? Is that the main thing with the 7-star rating that affects our industry?
Pretty much. I mean, the one that's coming out next will have more provisions around EV points. So
interesting.
Yeah, kind of just.
Are you guys doing EVs? You're doing EVs
absolutely.
too?
Yeah, right. So we've got a few installed at our office already, and we've made a bit of a transition.
Yep.
But yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that's going to affect our industry in a couple of years when that one. I think it's 2025, but don't quote me on that. Maybe it's.
Is that when it's coming in, or is that when it's getting published? Or we're not sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like NCC 22 was published a couple of years ago, and then now it's come into play.
Yeah, they're a bit. I know they're a bit slow with a few of these things, and I think there's been a bit of pushback with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well,
I've heard.
It's like, look at all the homes that are going up. Absolutely, there's pushback, but it's like anything. You publish it, and then everyone jumps on and goes, "That's not going to work. That's not going to work." So, but no. So that was this one here. The 7-star and how that's going to affect builders, and I think it will affect our solar market a little bit because you'll have the retailers coming in and selling these systems that are just so undersized, and it's going to be, I don't want it to be bad for solar.
Yeah. I mean, we'll take it. It's better than nothing, but it's still, I mean,
still worrying.
Glenn Morris was saying last week, a watt is a watt. They're all to be treated as sacred or something along those lines. We'll take it, but a few more would be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would think.
But it's all about, just making sure you're selling a system that's going to work for the client. I would be kicking myself if I sold a system to a client and it didn't service their needs. I'd just feel so guilty.
Yeah.
So
once you get in front of them, they're gonna you'll be able to get them to see
absolutely
the right way forward. Yeah. Okay. Interested in EVs. How many? Are there many EV points going in that you're seeing in new houses? Do you see many of that?
No, so only provisions.
Provisions.
So if we're installing a battery, we'll just run a provision for it. So it's pretty much just ready to go.
Ready to go, okay.
Yeah.
Do you do that on a lot of houses?
Yeah, so we do. We've actually been pumping out the full solution, so inverter, battery and EV chargers.
Yeah, right.
Which is really good because the client, as soon as they have an EV, we go, you're going to need a battery. You're going to need something here. So we've been running a promo at the moment. If you purchase a GoodWe ET inverter and a Lynx battery, we'll chuck in a free EV charger.
Nice.
So even if some people don't have an EV charger, they're like, sweet, we'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it. So and they look really good, the installs. I'm pretty chuffed with them. I love them.
That's cool. Well, that's good. So they do you find that the people building that are buying these build houses are more open to the EV side of things now? It's definitely catching on, you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think like nearly every second car you see now is a Tesla or a BYD. That
seems to be a lot of them, doesn't there?
Yes. Hey, don't be too mean. I've got an EV. Don't be too mean.
Have you got an EV?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you were driving? Is that an EV? I didn't even realise.
It's
there's a lot of them around now.
I think it's an MG4.
Yeah. Okay.
MG4,
cool.
So she's a bit bruised.
Yeah.
A panel dropped on it in the warehouse.
Yeah. You mentioned
that. That's okay. It still looks good. Nearly every second car is. And a lot of these builders that are building the larger homes as well.
Yep.
They've all their clients have got the EVs and they're ready to go. So
cool.
Yeah, different market. You're probably going towards the Tesla side of things.
Yeah.
But we're pumping out a fair bit of them, which is really good.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we've got 2 running at our office, so we get people if they want to come and look at a live one.
Yep.
Yeah, they can just come down and have a suss, which is good.
That's awesome. Awesome. I'm still just waiting for something around a twin cab ute.
I know.
I feel like. What's that meme where someone's waiting and they turn into a skeleton or whatever? I feel like that's me just waiting for the EVs to come.
I think Ford may have done something with it. I don't know.
Ford Lightning, the F-150 Lightning, you can get a conversion if you've got a spare 250,000.
Oh my gosh!
Ford have started. I've noticed a few ads on TV. Ford have started advertising about EVs, so you can see some stuff happening there. And then last I can see is. Looks like BYD are going to be the first ones to come out with some sort of option. Having said that, they then announced, I think it was earlier this year, that they're going to also, they've had all EVs so far. They're going to bring out a hybrid. So they've never had, they've never had a petrol car, and they're going to bring out a hybrid as a transition. So, and they're going to end up following up with a full EV, but I don't really want a hybrid either. Like, I'm like, I suppose it's better than my diesel, but it's still like...
Just slightly. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
But if you're waiting that long, you may as well just wait until a twin cab comes out.
I know.
That's really interesting about BYD. We've, Dale, one of our sales blokes, he's got a BYD seal.
Yeah.
Did you know that they're all named after water animals?
Well, I figured they were.
Weird is it?
I know. I had noticed that. I'm like, what's the common thing? I remember thinking this a year or two ago, thinking, what's the commonalities here?
It's so weird, but they're a beautiful car. They drive really well. So we've got one of them. We've got a Tesla. So we're kind of just trying a few to see which one we
What sort of Tesla is it?
Is it the Y?
Yeah, Model Y.
Yeah,
that's
Model
more
Y.
the sort of family SUV type.
Yeah. So, we're just kind of trying a few, seeing which one we like best. So,
yeah.
who knows?
It's all pretty exciting. I'd much rather prefer to drive an EV.
They're so cool. When first time I pressed the button, and I'm looking at the guy from MG, and he's like, "Are you ready?" I said, "Yeah." Are you? He goes, "Go." I'm like, what do you mean the car's not on?
Yeah, I know.
There's no sound.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird. Hopefully I don't do that again, because that was pretty embarrassing. I was like, shit.
I know. It is strange. You don't turn the car on; it just goes.
Yeah, it's weird, but it works. It's good.
Yeah, really cool. All right, cool. Well, I think we're about time to go to our first break. Once we come back, I want to know a little bit more about your journey in solar. And we've spoken a bit about 6 Star Plus, which has opened my eyes to a few things, especially with them building my house. But I want to know a bit more about how you got into solar and becoming an accredited designer as well.
Cool.
And I think there's some interesting things to talk about with your journey. So we'll cover that when we come back from the break. Awesome. And we'll be back in just a few moments. Okay, and we are back. All right, Lauren, we had a little bit of a break.
Break.
Bit of croissant, just coffee, pretty good. All right, so I want to know a bit more about your journey into the solar industry and how you got into it. But first of all, I need to ask you, are you a solar sidekick or are you a solar superhero?
Definitely a sidekick, but I do want to be a superhero.
Okay.
And I also think with a few things that I've started doing, I think I could probably be a superhero pretty soon.
Okay,
so,
all right. That's
exciting times.
That's a good answer. I'm happy about that.
Was it Jess that said the same thing?
Jess said something similar.
Yeah.
Jess said, you know what? I don't think I've got through an episode since Jess has been on where we haven't mentioned Jess.
She's a gun.
Yeah, I know. And have a look at her now. Now she's on other podcasts and stuff. She's co-hosting. Good one, Jess. All right.
Yeah, you're nailing it, Jess. Love it.
Doing well. All right. So you want to be a superhero, and you reckon you can get there. All right. I reckon you can get there too. Seeing a lot of positive things. I reckon stick at what you're doing, and I reckon you can definitely become one. But you're probably more of a superhero than you think already.
Okay, I'll take it.
All right. All right. Okay. Cool. Well, you're an accredited designer.
Yes.
All right. How did you? Oh, I want to know about how you got into the industry. Is that how you got in, becoming an accredited designer, or how did it?
No.
Take us through the journey. How did you get into solar?
Okay, so previously worked at a construction company, and then I made this switch over to solar just because. Thought, why not? Bit of an opening there.
Yep.
And then I started probably like everyone that was 20 years old, just admin role.
Yep.
Helping out with like the grid connections, and I guess more the back end, not really anything to do with the pre-install quoting, any of that stuff.
So you're all over all like the DNSP grid connection processes.
That is my baby. Oh my God, I love it. Every time I hear it get mentioned, everyone hates it. It's my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I love it. It's so good. And it's just like the full circle moment as well.
Yeah.
It's connected. You contact the customer. The monitoring's working. Yeah, bit of a nerd. I know.
You know what? We spoke. We had a chat a few weeks ago about the old days of True Solar. Right? You would have fitted right in with that culture because that it's like a bit of a culty sort of thing. The way you describe that, you're like, oh wow, it's like we go full circle and it's really exciting.
It's the best. That's cool. I don't want any chainsaws through my office though. There's no way.
No, we'll
tap out there.
We'll skip that part. We'll skip
Please.
that part. Yeah,
it's a bit scary.
Oh, that was a funny episode.
Yeah,
all right. So you're doing Grid Connect paperwork and all those sort of things. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So I haven't managed to give that away yet because, like I said, it's my favourite thing.
Yeah.
So and then. We did try and run with our own installers for a little while.
Or your in-house crews.
Yeah, in-house crew, and wasn't really too successful.
Yep.
So we then outsourced it, I guess, and
Yep.
I actually do have to owe a lot of it credit to Josh from Straight Line Solar. He probably introduced me to the AWise thing, and he like regularly spoke about Bobby. He used to do some work for Bobby up in New South Wales. So
nice.
He would always send us links and like, have a look at this, have a look at that. You guys should join this. And I thought, okay. And I found that most of it was you have to be an installer, you have to have your A grade. And that was pretty disappointing. And then I think one of his his apprentices go to Holmes Glen or something like that. That's where I did my designer course.
Yeah, right.
And then he's like, there's this one here that's just not for installers, so you can do designer course as well. So, and I learnt so much. It was insane.
Was that Holmes Glen in Moorabbin? Is that where you did it?
Yeah, with David.
David Tolliday?
Oh, I love him. He's the best. I regularly speak to him and I email him if I have random questions or if I just want his advice on anything. Probably gave him a little bit of hell in the class than we should have. But it was really fun. So we enrolled there. I think it was a 3 or a 4 day course.
Yep.
And a full day, a full 8 hours there. So the girl that I used to work with, Michaela, she did it with me and we were the only 2 girls in the class, and it was pretty funny because most of them would rock up in their tradie gear. And I remember emailing David going, Michaela and I don't have any work boots. We don't have any pants. Like, we're just going to come in casual clothes. He's like, yeah, that's okay. It's all good. So it was really fun. And like I said, we learnt a lot. And it actually got to the point where I think the first couple of days, Michaela and I bought our laptops thinking we got to keep the PV department afloat while we were away for 4 days. And I think by the second day we were having lunch with all the lads and there was a bit of banter and it was really good. And we learnt a lot. It was fun.
Yeah. So in the design, I'd have to go back a fair way now. There's no real practical stuff that you learn about. It's all, you're just learning about designing a system and you're learning about your basics with how a system works and all that
pretty
sort
much.
of stuff.
And just like panel placement. There was a little practical section. Not going to lie, we probably watched back on the whole switchboard side of things, but David did get us up on the roof and you have to design, I think it's like a 4-panel system and he's got a really good setup there. There's a tiled roof and then there's a Colorbond tin roof. So we got up there and gosh, the panels were heavy and Michaela and I, we probably struggled a little bit, but the crew...
panels are heavy these days, there's no doubt about it.
Absolutely, but the lads, they were so supportive and they're like, I'll get on one end, you get on the other end. Well, so
to be honest, that's how you're actually meant to carry a panel. I know everyone just throws it on their shoulder and goes
just
up.
Like that?
Pretty much.
There's no way.
You're actually supposed to have 2 people, but I know not everyone does that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it was really fun, it was really good. And it actually got to the point where some of the lads, they've either started their own business and they came back to Michaela and I asking us about STC and, grid connections and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's really good. I got most of their numbers on my phone and sometimes they'll ring me and say, I need a little help with this or how do you do this? So it's really good.
That's great to hear.
Made some
networking that way.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really fun.
Oh, very good. All right, cool. So you went and got your design accreditation. And how do you go using that in your role now? Is that quite useful, you reckon?
Absolutely.
With the stuff you've learned?
Yeah, so it also takes the pressure off the salespeople as well. I mean, we want them out there talking to builders, talking to developers, talking to commercial clients and getting the sales in, and it takes that pressure off. It's kind of handballed over to us and we design all the systems and do everything for it. And it's so fun and you learn a lot. We use Solar Plus. So that's our quoting tool and we use it on an install CRM side as well and it is amazing. So, and the clients love it. The feedback we get and the proposal you get, it's amazing. And it's things that clients unfortunately love, what's your CO2 output and how many trees are you saving and all that. And it's right in front of them. So
right in front of you.
It's really good.
Yeah, cool.
So and then we also use Bridge Select. So in Bridge Select, we run that on the install side of things and just a drop.
What's Bridge Select? I don't know that. What's that?
It's pretty much just like another CRM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you can upload. So we've got installers on there as well, and you've got designers on there as well. So you start a job, and the installer will get an installer login.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they can scan all their serial numbers.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then we can export that on an STC side and literally just upload that document straight to the regulator.
Make it nice and easy.
It is the best.
Yeah,
been
cool.
a lifesaver.
So do you get on site much?
I'm trying to.
Yeah, so
I'm trying to.
Done a little bit of research on you. Found a YouTube video.
Oh, no. I think I know what you're talking. Are you talking about the interview?
Yeah, I think there's an installation of a Goodwee or something like that.
Yes, I know it. Oh, that's so embarrassing. No.
When was that? When did you do that? That was a good video.
That was probably about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it was a good video. Informative.
Yeah, so this year I've probably taken on a little bit more of a install side of things and working with the installers and booking jobs in and making sure they got everything sorted. So what they like to tell me is it's a solar coaster, and I'll say, how come this isn't done, or is this done? And he'll give me an update every couple of days and say, this happened. And I never really understood it. And I found that, okay, I actually have no idea what goes on site, and I'd love to learn about it. So trying to get out there once a week.
Oh, that's all right. That's pretty good. Once a week's not bad. Jeez, if you can keep that up.
Yeah. And
you're going to learn so much and be exposed to so many different things.
Yeah,
once a week's a lot.
Yeah, so Josh takes me out there once a week. I'm only doing the stage 2. So with our builder installs, stage 1, panels are installed, scaffs up and all that. Stage 2 is the inverter fit off. I'm not scared of heights, but I'm just not really too familiar with them. And I don't really want to be getting on a roof yet until I get a little bit comfortable with it. So,
and there's no point doing that because it's high risk and until you're comfortable doing it.
No. I'll probably sit on one like a little single story, but I'm not getting on a double, no way.
Yeah, no.
But I did lift an inverter on the wall.
That's
My
nice.
hands were shaking. It's pretty heavy.
Right. No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So just trying to learn and just get a little bit more knowledge about it. So why not?
Yeah, okay. Cool. Got any other things you want to sort of study for in the future? Any other types of professional development you see you'd be interested in? Like, have you thought about learning more about like battery design or anything like that? Does that tickle your fancy at all?
A little bit, not so much yet. I actually did have a bit of an argument because I wanted to go down the path of doing my electrical apprenticeship.
Oh, really? Is that right?
I was thinking about it because there's obviously a whole nother side of solar, which is the electrical side and all that stuff. And I just think it's really interesting. It'd be interesting to have that under my belt as well and just expand my knowledge on it. But I'm not putting it in the too hard basket. I would have to change pretty much my whole career and be out on site 5 days a week. And that might push me back where I'm going.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, it's only 4 days a week because you've got a day at trade school.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to toy around with the idea. I actually did reach out to Holmesglen and David again and be like, is this possible? What can I do here? So and you can't really just do your apprenticeship just off solar. I'd probably have to go.
Look, I mean, you can, but it's not. Yeah, you would need to. I think you'd need some exposure to other things. Even some people I know who work for solar companies and got apprentices, they do like a sharing agreement with other companies, and they'll trade apprentices and they'll have other apprentices that have never worked in solar before that'll come and and
I probably could do that. Like, we've got really good relationships with our builders, and if I told them, hey, can I actually come out on site when you're doing a rough-in, I would be able to, but it does pull me away from the office, and that's what I love doing. So I might just leave that to the installers, but that's why I do want to try and get out there once a week and learn a little bit more.
I'll tell you what, you reckon solar installers do it hard? I reckon doing new houses do it pretty tough as well. The Sparkies that do that, because it's like I did it for a little while. There's only so long I can do it, just drilling out pine studs all day, and you're sort of going from one. You're doing a lot of the same stuff, and it's not like solar where you're on a different roof and you get a different scenery every day.
Design and stuff.
They've kind of even though they go into different areas, they're still the same.
Doing the same
houses.
stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't do it for too long.
Yeah, no, neither. That's probably why I do so much at Six Star, because I just love having different things and a bit of diversity. Do this, do that, and it's fun. It keeps me busy. Yeah,
no, that's cool. All right, well, interesting. So that's off the radar. You're not going to do your apprenticeship, but you maybe think about it. Maybe if anyone wants to hook me up with the 3 days in the office, 1 day on site, 1 day at trade school. I'm open. Someone will reach out. I'm so open to it because it's just more knowledge that I want under my belt. That's what I love about this industry. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly training. Constantly sitting on a webinar going, how do I do that? What do I do that? So probably constantly annoying our installers saying, what's this? What's that? How do So it's all good. That's good. We need more people like that who are willing to learn, because it's a tough industry. Got to be over so many things.
Yeah.
And the more learning you can do, the better off you're going to be.
Absolutely. I mean, we've just finished doing all the HI and Master Builders 7-star builders training.
Yeah.
And they're looking at us going, 6-star plus, like, what are you? And we're like, oh, we're actually solar installers. And they're kind of looking at us going, what are you doing here? We're like, well, it's relevant to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to be installing these systems that are going to be mandatory. So let's get in there.
Interesting.
Yeah. And you get a lot of business out of them. Which is really
you would
good.
too.
Yeah, because you've got builders going in here. Can I grab your card? What do you do? What are your offerings? So
good stuff.
Always do the free training, everyone.
For sure. What do you do for leisure in your personal life? What's your... I know, we had a bit of a chat earlier about your running. You like your running. So if anyone's sort of watched the promo we did for social media, made it look like you ran here from Berwick. You didn't though, did you?
No, I didn't. I was cursing you when you said that to me last night. And when I got to 23 Ks on my watch, I thought, oh, I could be in Carrum. Like, I've pretty much ran from my house to Carrum.
This morning. So you did. So you just explain that. You did a 25K run this morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I love running. Running is my thing. If I'm not running, I'm reading. If I'm not reading, I'm running. If I'm not doing either of them, I'm working or hanging out with the fam. So I probably, like everyone, took up running in COVID when gyms were shut and we couldn't do anything else. And I will just preface, I'm not a fit, like before this, I was not a fit person. My brothers were either basketball or footy and they were all over it. I was a kid that took off the school day if it was cross country and athletics. So I'm like, Mum, I'm sick, I'm staying home. So I guess I just worked myself up, started with 5, then 10K, then 15. Yep. Thought do a half marathon. Last year I did my first marathon.
Full marathon?
First full marathon.
Melbourne Marathon?
Melbourne Marathon, yeah. It was so fun. And
fun.
Yeah, we had such a successful day. So we actually raised money for the Victorian Homeless Fund, which was really, really good day. And I'm now a part of their volunteer committee, which is really cool. So another full circle moment. And we had such fun that my boss said, let's do it again. So this year I'm also doing it again. And I think there's about 30 of us on the team. So I just love it. But I've got a busy weekend. That's why I did my run today. Yeah, I would never usually run that far before work. No way.
It's a long way. That's like...
Yeah, it was a solid 2.5 hours of my own thoughts.
Yeah, I know. And you were telling me you don't run with music either. So
yes.
Yeah, interesting.
No music, bit of brain training, just listen to my thoughts, listen to my feet, my breathing. Probably it was pretty dark. It was 4:30 when I left this morning. So I probably shouldn't be listening to music because it's pitch black dark. What if...
You need to be able to listen where you're going and
absolutely
be aware.
Exactly. So
yeah, interesting. All right. What else do you do? So I noticed
context work outside of work.
Yeah, outside of work. Like I noticed. We're Facebook friends now, so I had a bit of a look on your profile.
A bit of proof.
Yeah, I saw. A little bit. I saw. You don't mind going to the footy a little bit by the look of it.
I love going to the footy. I love the footy.
So you'd be a bit sad about Dustin Martin this week? No.
Don't. It's been a heavy week. And even Hawkins.
Yeah.
In my previous life, I was a Geelong supporter.
Is that right?
It was kind of like a double whammy. I thought, what is going on?
So happened within like an hour or two of each other. They
pretty
retired.
Much. Yeah, I was pretty shattered. I am a mad Richmond supporter.
Yeah.
My friends and I, we love going to the footy. We make a day or a night of it. But I just love hanging out with my friends, hanging out with family, like just doing anything. My partner and I have a dog, so we have a blue heeler. So I actually spend a lot of time down here at the Seaford Carrum Beach and just hanging out. So I'm pretty lucky. I'm very grateful. And then when I'm not doing any of that, I will be volunteering. So love doing a bit of volunteer and charity work. I think it's really important.
You've mentioned that a couple of times, volunteer and charities. What are you doing? So I noticed you mentioned you raised money with your running. Did I see something else about something in Gippsland you were doing?
Yes, yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did see that about it looked like a soup kitchen type setup.
It was pretty much it was Frankie's Community Kitchen. So they supply meals to the hungry people in Gippsland. It's really sad. I think their demand, they need about 3,000 meals a week, which is just insane. Cost of living is just really bad at the moment, obviously. So the demand for that is just really high. So it's pretty important, I guess, for my personal development and corporate development that we do spend our time not just working on solar and trying to give back to the community. So anywhere that if we find we're doing a lot of work in a particular shire, we'll reach out and see if we can, help out there or do this, do that.
Is this a company initiative, is it?
Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah. So
okay. That's cool.
Yeah,
this is really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I would highly recommend, we've recently just developed a bit of a business model where we've got 3 different committees.
Yep.
So we've got the wellness committee, the wellness committee, the charity and the environment committee. So each committee obviously plays a different role. Wellness is just a little bit more about looking after yourself and breath work and mindfulness and all that. Obviously, charity is doing charity work like what we did yesterday. And then there's the environment, which is also very important. So we try and bring in different initiatives. We try and bring in different days. Today, we've actually got a talk with Dave Morgan that the Wellness Committee's organised. So I'm on the wellness one. We're just doing so much. But at the end of the day, we spend 8 hours at work. We're there 5 days a week. Like sometimes I'm spending more time with the people I work with than I do with my family and my partner. So it's about just doing stuff outside of solar and your business and giving back and like look at the network that the solar company or the solar industry has. It's so broad. Like there are so many people in this industry, and if I can make just a little change, get my name out there and just see people that like look at you, see me on LinkedIn doing that. Maybe that might, push you in the direction, actually, I'm going to see what I can do around Carrum. And it's it's just little things like that, which I think are so important.
Wow. I'll speak about making little changes. I think you're making some pretty big changes.
Yeah.
Honestly, they all add up.
Absolutely. And so I've just joined the Victorian Homeless Fund, their committee, which is really exciting. I've been supporting them for about 4 years now. Just doing things in the back end, always throwing their name in the ring. And I officially joined their committee, I think it was last week, which is really exciting. So
cool.
It's I think it's really important to do something like that outside of your work. And I would really encourage business owners. So we actually get 2 paid days a year to do something like volunteering and getting ourselves out there. Because I'll be honest, if that probably wasn't there 3 or 4 years ago when it got introduced, you would do this on the weekend. Obviously, people don't want to be spending their weekend doing that. So if it's getting introduced in the workplace, I mean, there's corporate bonding. I mean, there's so many benefits that come out of it, like increased productivity just because you've got a wellness thing. Like it's insane. I think that's why all of our employees are always there for the long run because our boss really looks after us. So I'm so grateful.
Wow. You've just mentioned, so I didn't know we were going to get this out of today's episode. They're really interesting. Yeah. So this has all pretty much come from the top, has it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
All of our CEOs, they're the first ones to put their hand up. I mean, most of the charity day we did yesterday at Frankie's, we got broken up into 6 different groups and then it's 2 shifts, so 2 3-hour shifts. And then our CEO is always the first one. You're like, yep, put me here, put me there. So, and you see someone like that and a corporate figure in your life doing that, then it goes, well, then why can't I do it? Absolutely. So I think they really do lead by example, and they make it pretty important that we need to give back and not just come to work. Give back, do what you can do in the community. It's really important.
Wow. That's good. That's so cool.
I went a bit of a rant there, didn't I?
It's really cool. Like I think we all do need a chance to reflect on that sort of stuff. And I know a lot of people in solar are so focused on their careers and trying to make a difference because I think a lot of people really just want to make a difference in the world and they're trying to progress their career as well. But I think taking a step back and doing these type of things can actually progress your career as well.
Even more.
Yeah, even more.
Yeah.
When you're, I think it makes you grateful as well about what we've got, what we have, what we can offer people.
Yeah.
And that I think makes your whole professional life better.
Yeah.
When you
I think about it as well. Like I'm 24 now. If I did this for the next 40 years, imagine the impact I could have and how many lives I could try and touch. So it's got to be done. And like I said, if you can't donate money, then donate your time. We've all got time. Yeah. We sometimes think we don't, but we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Interesting. That's taken my breath away, to be honest, thinking about that you guys are doing all of that and you're doing as part of your work, part of enhancing your work environment as well. good business strategy too. Apart from anything, like not just about helping the community, it's actually you're going to bond everyone together and all feel like you're part of a team.
Yeah, and you're working with departments. When you put your hand up for these things, you kind of just get put in a group, but you're working with different departments you probably wouldn't speak to every day. So like I learned something yesterday about one of the blokes I was with. So I'm like, oh, I actually wouldn't have known that. Like I wouldn't, that's a really random conversation we spoke about. So it's really cool. And then next time I see him, I can, follow that up convo. How'd you go with that? Or how'd you go with that? So yeah, it's really good. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. You would, absolutely. I can really see that you are. And that's something you're all going to have. That'll be a bond you have with each other for the rest of your life. Like when you end up moving on from 6 Star Plus or whatever happens and you run into each other in 10 years. Never.
They're stuck with me.
Yeah. Well, you might run into a colleague that you used to work with 10 years ago and you'll always have that together.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice. So in total, between all of our companies, there's about 100 of us.
Yep.
And if you're making a small change at work and that's been implemented into your workplace, imagine 100 of those people go take it back to their families and they take it back to this person and this person. It's just a ripple effect.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're trying to do. Just do more outside of solar and outside of work.
Yeah, okay. Oh, well, it's made me look around at my life's kind of solar. Obviously,
and mine is too. Yeah, absolutely. And solar and running, but you gotta do, even you can do something related to solar about it. So like we've been working with the Victorian Homeless Fund for a number of years now, and we donate a full system, so a full working system to all their homes. So what the Victorian Homeless Fund do, they actually build homes for people that need it most. So they pretty much approach a builder and say, hey, do you have a plan? This is the block of land we want to build on. And the builder will try and collectively reach out to their suppliers and get everything donated.
Yep.
So most of the time, even if we aren't that builder's solar supplier, we will get the work because of our relationship we have with them, which is really good. So it's just things like that. If you can find a charity that is kind of within the realm of solar and something around it, then it makes it a little bit more in your back pocket and in your back part. You want to support it more.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting. All right, cool. Well, that's really nice to hear that you're doing something for the whole community and people that are a bit less privileged. And thank you for doing that. It's really nice. And thanks to everyone at 6 Star Plus for for jumping in and doing that, and for the leaders who have initiated this too. Yeah. That's really nice.
It starts in-house.
Yeah.
I think it's so true. It starts in-house and then ripple effect, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. That's really cool. All right, we're going to go to our second break now. When we come back, a couple of other little things. I wouldn't mind knowing a little bit more about this wellness stuff you're doing. Mm-hmm. And we'll wrap the show up as well. But we've got a few extra topics to cover. And we'll be speaking about that when we're back.
Cool.
Okay, and we're back. Had another little break. Coming into the home stretch on the show now. So, all right, Lauren, I'm interested in a little bit more to know about this wellness committee you've got at 6 Star Plus. Like we spoke a fair bit about the other things you're doing in the last segment with the charity work you're doing, which I think, I'm still flabbergasted by that. I'm really good on you for that. It's really good. So what about with your wellness committee? What sort of stuff are you doing with that, and what benefits do you think it's bringing to the workforce there?
Yes. Well, as I said before, we got 3 of them. We got the wellness, the charity and the environment. So I sit on the wellness committee. Yep. And turns out if you run a marathon, you automatically by default get put into the wellness committee. So that was fun. So I was pretty sprung when I thought that, but I feel like I'm pretty resilient, so it is quite fitting. So with our committee, wellness is so broad. I mean, my wellness and your wellness are going to be 2 different things. And when you're working with 100 employees, it's the exact same thing. So someone might love running, might love walking, but the other person does not want to do it. They just want to read a book, or they might want to paint. They might want to paint and sip. They might want to do whatever. So it's just our one is quite broad wellness. I mean, we try and focus on things that are, I guess, really relevant to us in the solar industry. I mean, we do have to be quite resilient. So we do one on mental health. Yeah. So a couple of months ago, we had Cooper Chapman come down from the Good Human Factory. Yep. And he did a really cool presentation with us. And a lot of people took a lot of things out of it. And he talks about your bucket, and when you have pressures of life, your bucket, it's quite full, and it's about, and what he did, he had like these holes in the bucket and it was full of water, and then as you release those pressures, he took off a sticker and your bucket started coming down. So it was a really cool concept, and a lot of us got a lot of it out of it. And I mean, you don't have to be anyone to look after yourself. Everyone should be looking after themselves and doing a lot. I think one of his another quotes was, there's however many minutes there is in a day. I don't want to quote it just in case it's wrong.
This. No, hang on. Is it 86,000 seconds? Is that right? Hang on. I don't know.
I was going to say 1447 minutes. I feel like that number's screaming to me. There's 1,447 minutes in a day.
Hang on. I'm going to work this out. Hang on. All right.
Spend a few on you.
60 minutes of 60... Hang on, 60. Hang on, what am I doing?
I would have just gone
60 by 24. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Hang on, 60 by 20. So there's 86,000. Hang on, 86,400. Is that how many seconds are in a day? That's how many seconds.
I'm so bad at maths. I'm not jumping on this one.
How can I not work this out? Hang on, what? 60 by 24. 1440. There we go.
1440. So actually, I wasn't too.
So
bad.
hang on, we were both right. I said 86,000. It must be seconds. And 1,440 minutes in a day. Is that right?
I was going to say 1447.
There you go. Okay.
However many minutes are on a day, you should spend a few on you. Or seconds, whatever number we get to.
Whatever a number it is.
Yeah, spend a few on you. So that was our first one. Today we've got Dave Morgan, which is really cool.
So that's happening today, this afternoon.
Today at 2:00. So Dave Morgan used to work for someone along the lines of Someway.
Yep.
Yeah, someone. And I believe when his daughter was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, he spent the rest of his living days to pretty much raise charity funds for them, and he climbed the 7 summits of the world, which is really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he may have been a concreter or a tradie that just turned absolute legend. And so we've gotten him in to ramp us up for the Melbourne Marathon coming up. So, and his whole thing is, if you really put your mind to it, you can do it. Anyone can do it, a tradie, an admin, like whatever your role is in life, whatever you do, if you really put your mind to it, you can do it. And it's true. So
absolutely.
Yeah, wellness, it's pretty important to us. Like I said, we spent 8 hours and 5 days, sometimes 6 days a week with these people. And if your staff aren't well, or however you want to look at it, if they're not well, if their mental health is down, or if they're struggling, their performance is going to be down. So we spend a lot of time on making sure we got these, activities and engagements. Like we do run clubs, we do walk clubs, we do gym sessions, just trying to get everyone on board. And, you know, it hopefully, and usually it does increase productivity. So we've had really good results out of it so far, and all the committees have, so it's good. Very lucky, very grateful.
Yeah, it sounds like a really cool place to work.
It is. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
As I said, never leaving.
Did you mention you're doing breath work as well? Is that right?
Yes, we do breath work. We do have a...
been a bit of a theme on this podcast.
Yes.
So with Carolina, I actually... she's opened her own studio, and I went to an event on Saturday where we did breath work, which I think she called it spicy breath work. It was pretty full on, actually. There's a few people from Solo that were there. It was really good to see some people. And we did an ice bath as well. Yeah. I
had one this morning.
Did you really?
Yeah. After my run, I had one this morning.
How do you do your ice bath? Have you got one at home or?
No, so it's just probably a little bit Australian of me, but I go down to the servo and I buy a couple of bags of ice at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, did you get one of those? Oh, just your normal bath?
A normal bath.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool. I have done that before.
Yeah, you probably need 2 bags of ice rather than one. I probably should invest in one considering all the running I'm doing. But yeah, we have a Women's Day once a year, which is really cool. And we often get something to do, like a woman really, and they come in and do breath work or a yoga session or meditation. So it's really good. I'm actually shattered that we've already organised our one before I listened to that episode with her, because it would have been very fitting. So definitely put her on the back burner, and I might hit her up next year for it.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's so emotional. I mean, some of the girls, they were rattled. I was rattled. I'm like, what is going on? What's happening?
I know. Like the one I did on Saturday, it did definitely rattle me a bit. we all went around the room and said, "Hey, how's everyone feeling?" And most people were feeling like pretty positive and pretty relaxed. I said, "I'm feeling a bit confused," and it actually rattled me for the rest. Like I was kind of useless on Sunday, and I don't know why. I don't know if I'm like been through some trauma or something or whatever it is. I don't know.
In this industry?
Yeah. Well, that's right. I don't know what it was. Like by Monday, I was feeling better.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, it certainly changes. You can tell there's a physiological change in your body, and
the benefits of it, even just the benefits of nose breathing as well. It is insane.
Yeah, is that your water bottle? Yep. Yeah, that's all right. No, you're right. You're right. Breathing through your nose makes a big difference. I've noticed that too. Just even since meeting Carolina, and spending a bit of time with her. And really trying to focus on breathing through my nose. It does make a difference. Yeah,
it's amazing. It's it's probably something that's only been brought into, I guess, human life, maybe since just after COVID or breath work.
Well, I think that there's other cultures that have been doing it for years, and they've known about this stuff for years.
Yeah,
but I feel like we're only sort of tapping into it now.
Yeah, pretty much. Probably not the best, but
that's right.
We're getting by.
We'll learn. Yes, we'll learn and get better. Interesting. Oh, that's really cool. All right. Well, I wanted to speak a little bit also about. So before we sort of go into wrap-ups and everything, interested in how when you're working with builders and you're doing it in 2 stages, we had a little bit of a discussion about this before and got me thinking about with the emergency backstop stuff.
Yeah.
So what happens when you have no Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
We were having a little bit of chat about this. Is this something that needs some attention and some discussion?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, if you when this emergency backstop stuff comes in, you need Wi-Fi to be able to connect, right?
Yep.
It's part of the solar big rules. But not all building sites have got. Well, no building sites have got Wi-Fi.
No.
Hasn't been done.
No. So yes, we do our stages,
Yep.
2 stages. So we do the panel work, and then we run the cables down to the inverter location once the roof's on before plaster, and then we'll come back and we'll fit the inverter off. Usually, if it's going indoors, once the garage door's mounted, just to reduce theft or anything.
Yep.
And often, because we do try get in, I guess maybe 2 weeks before handover.
Yep.
Because realistically, when the client does hand over, we want that system solar ready. We want it connected to the grid. We want it ready to go. So on the day of handover, the builder can say, you've got a working solar system. You just need to put yourself on a solar plant, blah, blah, blah. So,
easy, yep.
Yeah. But I could not tell you last time we went to a site and 1, the homeowners were in there, and 2, that there was Wi-Fi. I mean, they don't even have a driveway. They don't even have any, there's nothing on there.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi is probably the last thing that would get connected after.
Yeah, I reckon it would be.
Yeah.
It's after handover.
It's after handover, and you pretty much have to be in the house. All your stuff has to be in. So
yeah, interesting.
How we're going to be able to navigate that is it doesn't mean we go there for a 3rd time and then commission the system.
It's not very efficient, is it?
No. How does that work? And then there's the other end where you have mobs doing it in a single stage installation at the very start of the build.
Interesting you mention this. I don't see how that can really work.
No.
So you guys don't do that?
No way.
Yeah, so
no.
I don't actually understand how you can give the customer a good experience and be able to do that.
It's not cost effective as well. I mean, if you're mounting your inverters in that early, what's it to stop it from someone coming and taking up, like theft on a building site is huge.
Yeah.
If you are mounting it into the wall as well, you're going to have your extra lintels. You're going to have steel conduit.
So if you flush mounting an inverter is an interesting. I don't think that's a very good idea.
No. And well, then how's it going to sit?
Yeah, that's right. I suppose you could put it in an enclosure then.
After the bricks are on though.
Yeah, that's
when you have to put extra lintels. Like how's it going to work? Steel conduit. What installer uses steel conduit? It's more expensive.
There's a lot of things to unpack there. Even a lot of those enclosures I've sort of seen. The manufacturer's not going to like that. It's not going to give you the right clearances. Warranties are going to be an issue.
Yep.
Manufacturer's instructions, clause 4.1.2, which I always bang on about manufacturer's instructions. They need clearance. So, yeah, okay, that's doesn't seem like the best way to be doing things.
No, definitely not. So if you come across a mob trying to do it in a single stage installation, make sure it's at the end.
At the end, yeah, months after handover.
Yeah, and sometimes that does happen. A supervisor will forget to call it up and we might have to run external conduit. It's not the end of the world, but don't be doing it at the start. And if they say that they can build the whole house off free energy, honestly, I would be so impressed.
Yeah.
But I can't see it happening. Sometimes there's even no meters.
running off temporary power or whatever, or a lead from next door.
Yeah, how's it going to work? There's no way. And if there's no Wi-Fi, if there's not going to be Wi-Fi at handover, it's definitely not going to be at base stage or frame.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I hope it doesn't get to a stage where some of these new houses are not eligible for the Solovic rebate or something because they haven't, they've missed the mark with this sort of stuff. I don't know. I'm hoping this can be solved.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So it'll be good once we get a bit more training around it and distributors provide a bit more training as well. It'll be awesome. So
yeah.
A bit great at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like it. I don't think they were ready. Well, they clearly weren't ready. Meant to come in on the 1st of July.
Yeah, keep pushing it back.
Yeah, that's right. We're way after that now. Yeah, now we're August. Yeah, getting to halfway through August now. So interesting. All right. Well, that's something to think about if anyone's building a house.
Yes.
You? Me, yes.
Think about it.
Yeah. I should be all right. I'm pretty much all over most of it. I can speak to the people that I need to about it. Being in the industry, but does it take someone deeply immersed in the industry like me to be able
all over it,
to be able to get through it? That shouldn't be that hard. Interesting. All right, cool. All right, well, let's move into a little bit of industry news now. Not much going on this week. There probably is. I don't know. This is just a little bit of the show. I just sort of throw in. I noticed there was some stuff on the Cutters page this morning about merging energy. That's been a bit of a hot topic about creditors reports out. So that's. It's got a few people rolled up a little bit about that.
Always something.
Yeah, there's always something. That's right. Again, there's the products listing, which once those submissions close in a few days, we'll end up seeing what's going to happen with that and if the CEC are going to keep it. I don't know when the announcement's due. Hopefully it's soon. I think a lot of people are wanting to know what's going on with the product listing. Do you have much with the product listing? You don't really probably deal with that too much, do you?
Not really. We just make sure we are all over it because we do it in stage installations.
So you got to make sure you know what's
coming off, what's going on. We've got a lot of panels out there on roofs just waiting to be called up. So, and if a stage one's sitting there for more than 3 months, I get them on the phone and go, what's a go here? Have you forgotten to call us up? What's happening? It doesn't happen often, but it comes up on our radar.
Yeah, that's actually pretty scary. That's higher risk for when you're building houses. Yeah, that's right.
Especially for us. Yeah, we got heaps of STCs just waiting to be claimed.
Yeah, they're just sitting there. And interesting would be the fluctuation of price.
Yeah.
Once they're on the roof. So if they go up early, do they ever go up early? Do you put the panels on early? Not really.
No.
Not too often. You minimise your risk that way, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty much as soon as the roof's on. We will know pretty clear. I think from about October onwards, we start taking into consideration all the POs being called up with this year's STCs. We just say, hey, if it's not going to get done by this date, there'll be a bit of an STC drop and that type of stuff. So
okay.
We're we try and be pretty all over it, and I think we do a good job.
I think the bigger risk at the moment, though, has been not just the STCs potentially dropping, but the panel pricing has changed. It's changed so much in the last sort of 12 months or so.
Better. It's definitely getting better. We do buy our panels in bulk, so we usually stick to about 10 to 15 pallets at a time.
Yeah, okay.
Don't really like to go over that just in case. But some of our bigger builds, we're using 30 panels on one job, and that's pretty much one pallet.
That's a whole pallet gone. Yeah.
So and we just like to have some on hand anyway, just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah. Don't want the lads having to go out to one of our suppliers and pick it up. So
yeah, for sure. Oh, listen, you're all over it on the procurement side as well.
Yes, have to be.
Have to be. Yeah.
Too many hats. Yeah. What am I wearing today?
All right, cool. All right, well, we'll move into some closing comments now. I think this has been another interesting episode. Just continue to find out interesting things about people and interesting things about companies and the way they're doing things. Must say I didn't know much about 6 Star Plus before. I wear too many hats as well. Trying to keep on top of everything's difficult. Glad I do know more now about what you're doing and the way you run your business too. It's good to hear good companies in the industry are doing things for their employees
Absolutely.
And looking after people. So I've got that out of today. Definitely want to say thank you for making the trip to Carrum and
the run.
The run, the run, Was it another ice bath later or not? You've done your one for today.
I'm done. My running week is closed off. Thank the Lord.
That's cool. All right. Well, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you spending the time to do it, and it's been really nice to get to know you a bit better. and all the things you're doing, I think you've got a really big future in this industry. You've got a great attitude, very positive, I can see.
Yes, definitely.
I don't know if that's just the solar rubbing off or you just sort of built that way, but I can see you're definitely positive. You like to see the lighter side of things.
Yep.
Try to look after yourself as well. I think so. You're going to go a long way in the industry, I reckon. So
thanks, Pat.
Wanted to say thanks to that. Do you just any closing comments before we finish up the show?
Not much, but just thank you. I guess I think what you're doing with this podcast is so cool, and it's bringing a lot of people not into place, but it's bringing a lot of people and, shedding the light on their careers and their companies. And it's so cool because a lot of people think we're a bit desensitized in the solar industry, but we're all humans. We're all having a crack. We're all enjoying it. So it's fun. I think you're doing an awesome job.
No,
thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. No, it's a lot of fun. Enjoying doing it. Enjoying getting to know people better. And hopefully opening some doors, not just for myself, but for other people too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully it does that. And I'll be interested to see who reaches out to you about being on, because a lot of people have sort of got to know each other after being on the podcast. So
absolutely. Anyone that wants to help me with doing my apprenticeship, that would be awesome.
For sure. Definitely. Well, I'm sure someone will call you up about that, at least with some interest anyway.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. All right, cool. No worries. Well, thanks again, Lauren, for coming in. All right, so teaser about next week. Interesting. Next week's going to be interesting. Well, Sorry.
Should we be worried?
No, I don't think worried. If it goes the way I think it's going to be put it this way, it's going to be a busy day for me next Friday. Extremely busy. Now, we're at episode 19, so I think if it goes the way I want it to, or the way I've planned it, I'm going to then, after next week, I'm going to be in the top 1% of podcasters, right? Because that means I'll have reached episode 21, right?
Yes.
So that means if it all goes well, we're going to be doing a double episode next week.
Cool.
All right. So let's see. One might take a little bit longer to come out than the next.
Yeah, fair call.
I've got a feeling episode 21 is going to be released before episode 20.
What?
You'll see. It'll all make sense.
Do that, please? That is going to drive me mad.
Yeah, it'll all make sense. And I'm hoping to do episode 20 in the morning and 21 later that morning. But I think you'll see why 21 is going to come out first, I think.
You are rogue.
Yeah.
You are off the rails.
Well, 21 is going to be a lot of fun, I reckon. It's going to be a lot of fun once you see who's coming in. And 20 will be a bit more serious. And I'm going to have to make sure I'm on my game for number 20, I reckon. So we'll see what happens.
Cool.
Hopefully, it'll probably all change by next week, but we'll see how we go. All right. Well, Lauren Ciconte.
Yes, that's me. Nailed it. 3 for 3.
Great. Thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it. And we'll see you all next week on Solar Sidekicks. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Awesome.